Good day to each and everyone. For this video, we will present to you the continuation of our research study entitled Case Study Analysis, Ethical Dilemmas in Corporate Governance. This study is presented to you by Ms. Laika Micael Alejandro, Mr. John Ruben Resurrection, Ms. Kenneth Salyan, and Ms. Ara Grace Sibuk. Chapter 4. In this chapter, we will be discussing about what we have concluded and what we recommend with regards to this study. Conclusion. Last time, we analyzed 5 real-world examples of corporate scandals in order to better understand the ethical dilemmas in corporate governance. This time, we will present to you what we have concluded throughout the study. 1. Identifying key issues. We are able to identify, analyze, and understand the key issues of the real-world example of corporate scandals. Kung ano ba yung mga punot dulo ng mga issues, kung bakit ba humantong sa ganong kalagayan, lahat ng yon nalaman natin through an in-depth research. 2. In evaluating decision-making processes naman, with the help of PLUS model, we are able to evaluate the decision-making processes of the companies involved in the corporate scandals. Nalaman din namin kung ethical ba or unethical yung naging approach ng company while handling the issues. With this, mas nauunawaan namin yung mga approaches na dapat at di dapat i-implement inside a corporate structure to prevent such scandals from happening again. In analyzing stakeholder impact, with each case, we have identified all the parties involved and we have also analyzed the effects of the issues on them. It is important to do because it gives us an idea to consider yung magiging epekto ng decision sa kanila before making it final. Kumbaga, this serves as a future reference for other companies.
Next is in reviewing governance policies. So here we analyze kung gaano nga ba ka-effective yung mga existing corporate governance rules and inanalyze din namin kung may mga butas or kulang pa ba na mga policies na naging dahilan kung bakit nangyayari yung mga ethical issues sa isang company. So, importante kasi ito para malaman din natin kung ano pa yung mga pwede nating ma-improve, especially pagdating sa transparency and accountability sa loob ng isang organization or sa loob ng isang business. So next is in developing actionable solution. After namin ma-review lahat ng mga cases and policies, nag-suggest kami ng mga practical and realistic na recommendation. So this solution is for business leaders, policymakers, and stakeholders na gustong maiwasan yung mga gantong scandals in the future. So nakapokus dito sa pag-strengthen ng mga ethical leadership, internal control, at sa pag-promote ng responsible decision making. First bullet, the findings underscore the need for strong ethical leadership and effective governance policies to ensure responsible behavior in the corporate world. Ibig sabihin, hindi lang dapat magaling yung mga leaders. Dapat may integridad, malasakit, and may paninindigan sila. Next is commitment to ethics, transparency, and accountability. It is also very important kasi ito yung parang foundation ng bawat decision sa loob ng isang company. If you want to prevent scandals and earn public trust, kailangan consistent yung values and action natin. So dito natin makikita na hindi sapat na may rules lang. Kailangan pinapairal natin to na may integridad, malasakit, and hindi lang dahil kailangan, kundi dahil tama.
Naman tayo sa recommendation. Sa part na to, ito lang yung pagbibigay ng mga actionable suggestions kung paano mape-prevent yung ethical dilemmas in corporate governance based sa mga naging findings ng study. Yung mga ethical issue ng corporation is karaniwan na nag-start sa mga weak governance structures, lack of accountability, and yung hindi sapat na ethical guidance. Para ma-address yung mga challenges na to is narito yung mga recommendations na ipopropose namin. For business leaders, yung unang dapat i-address is yung pag-establish ng strong ethical culture. Sinasabi lang dito na dapat yung mga business leaders is pinaprioritize nila yung integrity at decision making sa lahat ng level ng management. At dapat maging magandang ehemplo rin sila sa para sa ibang mga empleyado ng organizations. Kasi pag yung ethical behavior is pinaira at palaging pinapractice, na-impluensya nito yung buong organizations na mag-set ng standards for all employees. Next naman is yung pag-implement ng ethics training programs. Dapat yung company is nagagawa sila ng mga programs tungkol sa patuloy na pagtitrain ng mga employee na makakatulong para mas maunawaan nila kung ano ba yung mga ina-expect sa kanila ng company na kaya nilang gawin for their work as an employee. Yung mga program na ganito is makakatulong siya para ma-enhance yung ability ng mga employee na mag-identify, analyze, and mag-respond sa mga ethical dilemmas in effective way. Last is yung about sa pag-strengthen ng internal oversight mechanism. Essential to na ma-establish and ma-maintain yung ethical control system ng isang company or organization, including the compliance departments and ethic committee. Yung mechanism na to ay magsaserve para ma-detect yung mga early sign ng misconduct, mag-investigate at ma-prevent yung mga unethical practices or larger ethical breaches. Nagsisilbi silang mga barriers against unethical decisions or behavior. Policy makers, yung unang nabanggit dyan ay yung pagpapatupad ng mas mahigpit na regulations and enforcement. Dapat yung policy makers daw is maglabas ng mas malinaw at mahigpit na batas na magpapalakas sa transparency at pananagutan sa corporate operations or yung sa corruptions. Ang effective regulation kasi is nakakapagpigil siya sa mga unethical practices at makakapag-promote siya ng good governance. Next is yung pag-enhance sa whistleblower protection laws. Sa mga employee na nagsusumbong sa katiwalian ng kapwa nila empleyado ay dapat pinoprotektahan nila or dapat protektado nila laban sa kung anumang uri ng paghihiganti. Sa ganitong way kasi is mas mahihikayat silang magsalita or magsabi na nakakatulong para mas madaling makita or maitama yung mga maling gawain na nangyayari within the organization. Last is yung about sa regularly update governance frameworks. Sinasabi lang dito na dahil sa patuloy na nagbabago yung business environments like sa new technologies or sa globalization, kailangan nakaakma or regularly revise yung mga patakaran sa governance policies para mapanatili nilang effective ang mga ito to keep up with these changes. This ensures that they remain effective in facing the evolving corporate practices and societal expectations.
Okay, so for stakeholders naman, first is, syempre, it needs to increase transparency and accountability. Kaya yung mga corporation na nai-interact with ng mga stakeholders ay dapat mayroong mga ethical na responsibility. Tsaka dapat ang stakeholders is mag-demand ng greater transparency for them. Of course, involved dito yung pag-advocate nga for open communication and accountability regarding sa mga corporate practices. Also, it needs an active participation. Dapat yung stakeholders is nagpa-participate actively in corporate governance. So, sabi nga dito, nagagawa daw ito through shareholding voting and utilizing employee feedback mechanisms to influence corporate decisions and ensure ethical conduct. Furthermore, dapat ang stakeholders is also should actively support businesses na nagde-demonstrate ng commitment to ethical responsibility and social sustainability. Involved here if you just wanted to choose to invest in or just patronize some such businesses. Okay, so moving to the last part for future researchers naman, they should delve into emerging ethical dilemmas in corporate governance, particularly those related to AI-driven decision-making and ESG, which is the environmental, social, and governance compliance. So, mahalaga itong research na ito for understanding and addressing the unique challenges posed by these areas. Next is, of course, by evaluating government's reforms, researchers need to explore the effectiveness of existing corporate governance reforms to prevent ethical failures. Siyempre, involved dito yung pag-assess sa impact nitong mga reforms and pag-identify sa mga areas kung saan kailangan ng improvement. Last is they also need to develop an ethical frameworks. Kasi syempre, 'di ba, mahalaga din na i-develop ang isang ethical decision-making frameworks ng advance dahil itong frameworks na to magbibigay or magpo-provide sa mga business ng guidance, of course, for navigating ethical challenges and making a responsible decisions. So, overall, our goal is to foster a culture of ethical responsibility within business and policy making. So, by implementing all of these recommendations, business can achieve long term success and sustainability while upholding ethical standards. This can contribute to a more responsible and trustworthy business environment.
That sums up our video presentation. For reference, viewers may request for a copy of our research paper. And that's all. Thank you.